Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain the instructions for the final assessment on equations, angles, and triangles. So first I'm going to read these instructions here. You can follow along. So read the instructions for each part below to complete your final assessment for solving equations, angles, and triangles. Your grade will be out of 50 points for knowledge and thinking. Start at the beginning knowledge section here, and then complete all the questions in part 1, which is beginning knowledge. If you do not understand, watch the videos attached below, either with headphones or subtitles. You do not have to watch each video. However, it's there if you need help. The final assessment will be worth 50 points. After each section, you will need to submit your answers on a Google form linked at the bottom of the section. Do not do the Google form until you have put an answer in each box. So you're going to start at part 1 here, and you're going to do this first problem. If you do not understand how to solve a one-step equation, you're going to click the video, and it will take you to a YouTube where you'll see similar type of problems showing you how to solve them. Then you'll go back to the assessment, type your answer in the box, and you'll do that for all of the problems here in part 1. So there are 29 problems in part 1. The first section here is one-step equations and one-step inequalities. Then you get to some geometry about angles and triangles. So again, if you need help, click on a video. It will take you to a similar video to show you how to solve that problem. In all of the geometry problems, it says what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to solve for x, but it also gives you a piece of information that will help you do that. So all of these problems here, when you've completed the last problem here, you're going to go ahead and you're going to click attempt number 1. Open it up. So this is the answer check form where you will submit your answers for part 1, and then one by one, you'll submit all your answers, enter your information, first name, last name, period. And then you'll notice the questions, if you scroll back up to the top here, they start from the first one, then they go over, and then they go down and over. So you can see this one's that first one, then the next one over is the next problem, and then it goes down to the next row, and then over, and so on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'll keep going back and forth, putting your answer in as long as you see it as a choice. Hopefully it is a choice given, the one you put. If not, you'll need to rethink that problem. And you're going to go all the way through. I put the pictures of the angles in here, all the information until you get to the bottom answer here. And then you're going to submit your part for part 1. And it'll pop up here in the screen when you're done. It'll say view your score, and you're going to view your score. And then let's say you got 20 out of 29. You could put your score there. I would suggest if you did not get above 20 points that you try attempt number 2 after you've gone back and made some corrections here on the ones you got wrong. So the great thing about the Google form is when you click on it and you click view your work, you'll be able to come here and see all the red ones that are wrong. It'll show you what's wrong. It'll be highlighted red, and then you can just fix those specific ones. And then once you've taken a little bit of time, you're going to try attempt number 2. I would suggest making sure you have attempt number 1 open. You can re-click the link if it's another day, and then use that and your corrections to help you do attempt 2, and then, of course, the last attempt. So your goal is to get to 29 out of 29 points in this section. Since I've given you 3 attempts and you have a chance to make corrections, you really should be able to do that if you take the time and slow down. Then when you're done with part 1 and you feel good with your score, maybe you're 1 point away. And if you're 1 point away, you can make the correction on the document by highlighting that, just that one that you got wrong. Then you're going to go to part 2, and there's 10 questions in part 2. Same thing. You're going to do each problem, and then the Google form is at the bottom of part 2. You'll click it, open it up, and it says part 2, attempt number 1. And you'll go through starting with this problem, and then it goes over and then down and then over and so on. There are only 2 attempts in this section, so make sure you slow down and you take your time in these as well. And you'll notice that each attempt is labeled at the top, part 2, attempt 2, so you know what attempt you're on. Again, I would suggest once you've done attempt number 1 to fix the ones you got wrong on the document, and make sure, go slow and take your time and make sure you really get them correct before trying the second attempt. And then part 3 and 4, I'm going to read these instructions carefully here. It says, please read carefully. There are going to be some short answer questions. You will be submitting these answers by copying and pasting everything that you have in the Your Answer box into the Google form that's at the bottom of the section. I will be able to see if there are any repeat answer between students in any classes. If students copied others' work and submitted it as their own, this is cheating. You must have your own wording for every single problem. If you use the same answers as another student, you will receive a score of 0 as well as the other student. So you have an answer in here. Let's say, okay, this is your answer, even though I know that's not an answer. You're going to copy all of that, copy and paste. You can ask for help if you need to do that. On a Chromebook, it's Control-C. And then you're going to go down to the bottom for part 3. And again, fill in your information, and you'll notice that this is the first question. And you go Control-V, paste it in there. Make sure you match everything that you put here in there, and then submit. And you'll do that for all 5 of the questions here. Submit. You won't see a score because I need to manually grade those. But I will say that you need to really make sure you're only doing this after you've taken the time to solve it. If you would like some feedback in part 3 before you submit, I can help you. And then part 4 is the same thing. You're going to copy and paste whatever you put in the Your Answer box after you completed it into the part 4 section as well. So that is all you're doing. There are a lot of questions. There's 50 questions, but you're going to have Wednesday, which is today, about 20 minutes. You're going to have all day Thursday and all day Friday. That's 50 minutes each. And then depending on where the majority of class is, I might give Monday as well. So there should be plenty of time to finish this. It will not be due until the Friday before Memorial Weekend, or the Friday of Memorial Weekend, which is May 27th. So you'll have about 2 weeks if you don't finish it in class to finish it at home. And then you can still make corrections up until the deadline of the trimester, which I think is like June 8th or something. So you do have plenty of time, but you need to be working on this. It is worth a really big portion of your final grade in this class.